Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew.
I'm not modeling anymore for the two of you.
Loveline. Loveline.
Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. And I'll tell you, the surreal part of my job is I was sitting at home watching Titus tonight, 8:30, Monday nights, Fox. And I finished watching it. I got up. I came here. And here's Chris Titus right in front of me.
It's Christopher Titus. Chris Titus is something you get vaccinated for, but thanks, Adam.
I'm sorry. I always screw, I always take the easy way out and drop a syllable or two. But we were just watching it and enjoying it, and I was talking to Christopher about how they film it on the same place as Loveline and The Man Show. So it's all one big Hollywood Center studio family we got going here. And we didn't talk about the show, but I did notice something that I didn't recognize you from, but is one of my all-time favorite movies. Christopher was in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes, I was. Thank you very much, Adam, for bringing that up. Not letting that die. Appreciate it.
Your all-time favorites.
Yeah. Did you ever see
Shakes
that?
the Clown?
Did you ever see that, Killer Clowns from Outer
No,
Space?
can't say I did.
A surreal, bizarre, horror sort of killer. Well, the title says it all, but it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get stoned and watch that movie at least once.
One of my lines in the movie is, "Wow, check this out." Thank you very much. Had Dustin Hoffman not done that Rayman piece of crap, I'd be all over it.
Well, I'll tell you, I liked it, and now you're really a hero to me because you're in that movie.
Thank man.
And what was that, like 88, 89?
Yeah, it was my first acting gig. And actually, I drove a Jeep on this cliff in Santa Cruz. First act, never done an acting thing. Director goes, all right, drive the Jeep in, haul ass, spark it, throw a beer to a couple cast members, say your line, get back in the Jeep. So I do that. I get out of the Jeep, and the Jeep rolls into a fence that looked like a real fence, but it was a prop fence on this cliff. The fence goes out about 8 feet, and I hear, "Cut!" And two big, huge, bulky union guys run over, grab me and the girl out of the Jeep, basically just throw me, pull the brakes, they lease the Jeep.
Oh.
And so I'm wearing a big goober hat the whole rest of the day. Hey, I'm the guy that almost wrecked the Jeep. I almost cost you 14 grand. How you doing?
Where did they film that?
Santa Cruz. I'm Santa Cruz, California.
Oh, yeah. I just got that. I got it from the Kyoto brothers, by the way, who are the guys who did all the clowns. And the Kyoto brothers are 3 Jewish guys. And I was expecting to meet a couple of guys just got off the boat kind of thing, and I don't know how they spell their name or what's going on, but everyone who looks forward to meeting these guys must think they're going to meet, just some, like you're going to hear big gong when they walk into the office. Titus, there we go. Who the hell did we have on from Titus last week?
Jake?
Zach Ward.
Oh, Zach Ward. Yeah,
oh, wow, what an impression. Zach's going to be really happy to hear that. I'll be all over him. Hey, Jake. I'm the set. I go, hey, Jake, what's up?
No, I was watching him tonight. I was watching you tonight, and you guys, you do good. You work well as brothers.
We play dumb well.
It works. It's believable. So how this whole thing gets started? I'm looking at it here, but why don't you tell us?
I did a show called Norman Rockwell is Bleeding here in at the Hudson Theater. Actually, I did stand-up for 16 years, and slowly I almost quit stand-up about 10, 12 years in. I said, screw this. I was going like a tumor on my soul. I hated it.
Good.
Because I was going, hey, you ever notice when you go to the store and you see something that we all notice and it's not funny, it's just noticeable?
Yes.
And so I was that guy. Very nice, perfect. And I was going to quit. I was going to actually go back work in a body shop. And a friend of mine took me aside and said, I don't even know that happy guy. Who the hell is that guy? This intense guy comes in pissed off all the time. Be that guy. And I started writing about my mom in the mental hospital and all this other stuff and made it funny. And it turned into this show, Norman Rockwell's Bleeding, which got nominated for a theater award. And then Fox came down after everybody else said that, CBS was relentless. And NBC, want to hear a great story about NBC?
Sure.
Very nice. Going to their office, they're like, we love you, man. You're great. So we're having this development meeting. We're sitting on a table. Everything's going great. And I'm going, look, I want to do classic television. Let's push the envelope, see what we can do. What you're supposed to say.
Right.
And this woman picks up this rock from her desk, and she walks over and she slams it in front of me. And on the rock it says, risk. It's one of those rocks from the accessories in the mall. So she didn't risk anything to get the rock. She didn't go through fire, climb the mountain. She just went to the mall and bought the risk rock. So they slapped this rock down in front of me, and I'm like, all right, NBC's all about it. So I leave, and the next day they had a call for tape. They watch the one-man show, and, it's about my mom's suicide and about, my dad, my dad's drinking and him getting busted for drunk driving on television. And they call back, and they're like, it's a little too edgy for us.
We like the wrist
Yeah.
rock back.
And my agent stopped me. Actually, I painted up with Safe Rock, and I put it in a box. And my agent said, no, not sending the Safe Rock. So I thought I could talk about it now on the radio.
Well,
You gotta do what Adam does, though.
what do I do?
You gotta tell him to kiss your ass now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Use the radio. Tell NBC
Yeah,
to
tell
kiss your
NBC to
ass.
give it. That's right, because Fox is not a tenuous grip on show business. I'm in now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 9 episodes. Yeah, let me tell the entire network to kiss my ass. I love NBC.
All right. Well, I would tell him to kiss my ass if I were you. I have a...
It's a peer pressure thing now, Adam.
Yeah, well, I've never
All right.
told NBC to kiss my ass. Have I, Drew?
Is there anybody you haven't told to kiss
I
your
think
ass?
NBC may be the only one left.
All
And
right.
speaking of NBC, well, wait a minute. What channel's PI on? ABC?
ABC, yeah.
You did that tonight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Interesting. It was at the Playboy Mansion. And it's,
Yeah. I'm doing it tomorrow night. That's why Drew's telling me
it's
tonight.
really, I mean, it's visually, it's beautiful the way they photograph the thing, but it's hard to engage in meaningful discussion with all this sort of party going on around.
People walking around?
Yeah, he's trying to recreate the Hef's, Playboy After Dark.
Who was on it with you? That's the beauty of Drew, everybody. You don't know one person.
No,
that was
I do.
on
I'd
it
have to
with
sit
you, do you?
down. I'd have to sit down and remember everybody's name. No, William Shatner.
Okay, yeah, that's one you could remember.
He was on Hef's thing.
I know. He actually was sodomized in the grotto by Hef himself. I don't know
And
if
that
you
was
know
reenacted in full living color.
Hard to discuss the political issues while that's going
It's
on.
just hard to. The whole thing was. It's really. I mean, it's wonderful to watch. Seriously, it's beautiful. They have it lit and everything, and the peacocks everywhere. And
Now, did you do the early? Are they doing two? They told me
I
they're
did
doing two.
Night one, number one,
Yeah, but
night.
what I mean is,
They
did
did
they
two.
film another one after?
and they're doing 3 tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I wonder which one I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing the late one, I think.
What time? No, you're
Uh,
doing the second
I'm
one.
doing 8:30 to like 9 or
Okay.
something, then I'm out of there.
Whatever.
And then basically, here's my plan. 8:30 to 9, I do PI. Then it's some light raping, very light raping, and then right to the car and over to Loveline.
Very nice.
That's my plan.
So you said it looked beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's
Yeah,
great,
it's
'cause I-
spectacular film. People, if I thought to myself, God, if I were flipping a channel changer around, and
Yeah.
I came across that, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, when I like to watch political repartee, I do it for the scenery.
Well, that's
very nice.
I think it was
nice
I
waterfall.
think it was actually irritating Bill because a lot of it was spent on photographing the environment he wanted to get to the discussion. So.
I see. Well, he's all business, that Bill. When he's not banging Asian hookers and smoking weed, he's all business. All right, shall we go to the phone?
You're doing the
today?
show tomorrow, right?
Actually, I'm going to be on tonight. It'll be on aired tonight. The show I just did.
Drew is on the show tonight. I'm doing the show tomorrow, and the Lord knows when that'll air, but we'll figure it out. Steven,
Yeah?
you're 13?
Yep.
What's up?
Hey, man, I was just saying, man, you guys kick ass, man. You are like the coolest radio show in the world. And Christopher Titus, I was watching you today on Fox, and you're hilarious, man.
Wow.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Covered all the
We're-
bases.
We're the 7th graders. We're kicking some butt.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
And, well, first, I can really fart good, too.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Well, what do you have for us?
All right, here, listen to this.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, okay.
Don't hurt yourself. You're only 13. You got many years ahead of you. Don't break something now.
How could you?
No.
No.
Well, maybe.
Did you get that?
Yeah, but we don't believe it.
You don't?
No.
How could you not believe that?
Because it sounded very fake. That's how come.
Yeah.
Aw, come on, man.
So what was your question, Stephen?
All right, I like
Oh, come on. Yeah.
I like masturbate and stuff to like pornography on the computer,
I see.
and my parents like caught me tons of times, and I don't know what to do.
All right. Well, you're going to have to close the door.
There you go.
Yeah, they like come in, and I don't have a lock on my room.
Yeah, you're going to have to you're going to have to be more discreet. I don't know what it is about, well, here's what it is. When you're young, when you're young, you're stupid. And it's not your fault. It's just you're 13. You don't know that much.
Right.
Now, people who get busted over and over again when they're older are old and stupid. And I think that's you have to be stupid to get busted a lot. Because what it is, you know what I mean? I mean, think about like the way animals act. Animal will start chewing on your favorite pillow while you're standing there. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is sort of the height of stupidity. They don't have any intelligence at all. And a kid will do it when you're in the next room, and then as you get older, you wait till your folks leave for out of town before you start chewing on the pillow.
But what's interesting about old Stephen here is that he has no perceived sort of shame or embarrassment. It's just, damn.
Well, he also
tons of times.
He didn't say he was in trouble either. They just walked in, hey, Steven.
I mean, he's so desensitized to it. It's like, hey, Stephen, put your clothes away.
I do not want to catch my kid jacking off, though.
I mean, once you have to put me in a hospital.
Yeah, so Drew has triplets. Drew, when your kids, those two boys of yours, and believe me, they're going to be world champion jackers. I know those two. They got a lot of energy. They got the Pinsky gene. And they're going to be going at themselves about their 13th birthday until they move out of the house, and then, just be on their own time. And, Drew, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to not only have to knock on their door, but you're going to have to start narrating down the hall.
I'm coming down the hall.
I am getting up off of the sofa and moving toward my lad's room now. And you'll wear big iron diving boots.
And carry a rolled-up newspaper.
That's right.
Stop it.
A lot of coughing. For some reason, you develop emphysema.
Yes.
Oh, Drew, you do not want to see those kids going at themselves, eh?
No.
I think the weird part maybe is that his parents keep walking in on him and checking for him.
Yeah. Well,
let the kid go.
Well, it's the computers. So it's probably like in the family room or something. Joe?
Yep.
You're 16.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Well, sorry about last night. I called up with the same question, but I kind of fell asleep.
Yeah, you were not snoring well enough for Adam.
Oh, I wasn't?
Yeah, those of you who fall asleep when you're on hold for 85 minutes must snore like novelty snore. Otherwise, you're of no entertainment value for the show at all. All right, well, what's your question, Joe?
Well, on like my upper chest, kind of my shoulders and my back, my skin is, it's got like dark splotches, and it's just darker than the rest of my body's skin.
Like large patches of dark skin or coalescent freckles?
Depends on the area. Like on my back, right along the edge of my ribs, like if you took a ruler and just put it straight down, it stops at that one point, and it's like in the center of the back. And
okay. Is it just slightly darker?
Yeah, it gets worse.
In the summer?
Yeah, it gets worse during the summer.
If you were to outline it, would it sort of be like an outline of a wings on your back?
Like a what?
Like wings on your back? Sort of like a wing pattern?
I don't know about that bad, but...
Well, I think what you're describing is something called tinea versicolor, or Malassezia furfur, which is a real common mild fungus that either hyper or hypopigments the skin right in the distribution you're talking about. And it gets worse in the sun. It's more noticeable in the sun.
Yeah.
And what you ought to do is just try using some Selsun Blue, a selenium shampoo, as a soap every day in the shower, and take a few months, but you see if that doesn't bring it under control. All right?
So I can wash myself with shampoo and it'll stop?
It's a fungus, and it comes out with...
It's a certain kind of shampoo.
Selenium.
I got that already.
Take
Selsun Blue. You know, the dandruff shampoo?
Too easy.
If that doesn't do it in 3 or 4 months, then there are many other things that can be done for it, but that's the easiest
Try
thing.
that first.
All right?
All right.
Yeah, you know, you get a little older, your skin doesn't rebound. I'd spent a lot of time. You know, when we all grew up, there was no sunscreen or anything. Everyone was just constantly getting baked out in the sun nonstop. But I was in the Gay Pride Parade 3 years ago as sort of a goof. Well, I was dressed as one of the village people. It was a morning show thing. I remember we got in a big argument with the program director, which is, on our float, we wanted a big sign that said, "Hello, gays," on it. And he was like, "You can't put 'Hello, gays' on your float." And we're like, "Why not? It's a Gay Pride Parade, and we're saying hello to the gays."
Plural.
We ended up getting "Hello, gays" on our float. But I was the construction worker from the village people. I was wearing a tank top. The Gay Pride Parade goes down Santa Monica Boulevard. I was out in the sun for about 9 hours, and I think, and I know this sounds bizarre, take it any way you want, I think the Lord intensifies the sun that day to punish the gays. It's a theory.
Punish or highlight. Shed the golden light upon their
Exactly.
prey.
Exactly.
There's golden something going on over there, but it's not light. It's in a liquid form, Drew, and I think he intensifies his burning rays to punish the gays. That's just a thought of mine, and I think...
Why would you the only one sunburned?
He mistook me for one of the gays. I was on the float.
This is a village person. Even God's going to see that.
Right.
Adam, they're very careful to wear sunscreen.
I know, but I, being a straight guy, did not put the sunscreen on and got the wrath of God with the rest of the gays. You understand? And I still have a wife-beater sort of strap mark going over each shoulder. I mean, you can see a faint outline of where it's like God burnt that gay day right into me.
Like a scar.
Yeah.
My great-grandparents used to use vinegar on me when I got sunburned.
Oh, really?
I'm like 5, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, I'm bathing in vinegar. Please, God, they're marinating me. Don't let them eat me.
Daniel?
Hello?
You're 15?
Yeah, hey.
What's up?
First of all, I want to say I love you guys.
Thank you.
Alright, anyways, I have a small penis, and I'm afraid to get sexual, like, I'm afraid to get close to a female.
But you're 15, first of all. Maybe it's not time yet for you to do that kind of thing.
How small is it?
Hard, about 3 inches.
Oh, no. Really? You measured it?
Yeah.
From where?
All right, listen, and at 15, he's got 6 more years of growth ahead. Plenty of time to go. Late puberty is associated with longevity. Not a bad thing. It's just you're just sort of comparing yourself against peers that are probably more developed at this age. And it's normal to feel sort of inadequate, but it doesn't mean you're inadequate. It has nothing to do with you as a person.
And if you use my new technique for measurement, it's going to work out. You measure from the center of the anus
There you go.
to just beyond the tip.
There you go.
Just past the tip. Whatever that distance is for you is
Right.
what you use.
Yeah. It's like adding a stroke in golf or taking one off.
Right.
Just beyond the tip. There you go.
Could be 6 Corollas.
All right, Daniel. Listen, you're fine, but just make sure your tongue works.
I was going to
'cause
say,
that's
how's
all-
your tongue, brother? Exactly what I was going to say.
I'm serious. Christopher, let's have a serious discussion about oral sex here. That's all women want anyway.
If you're good at it, that's all you're right. You're absolutely right.
They would take that over intercourse any day of the week. They like some of that. Like a sprinkling of that, but the oral sex is what they're really interested in. And if you're a guy who has a small penis and you compensated by being excellent with the oral sex, you're in.
You're all over it.
The woman will be very satisfied.
She will tell her friends.
That's right. Christy,
Yeah,
you're 22.
yeah.
What's up?
I just have a question. I have these kind of like little red bumps around my vagina, not exactly in it, but just around it. I was wondering if that might be some kind of STD.
You want to give me more info than little red bumps?
They kind of look almost like blisters.
Do they hurt?
No, not at all. They don't itch or hurt.
Is it symmetric on both sides?
I'm sorry, what's that?
The same on both sides?
Yeah.
You have just as many on one side as you do on the other, basically?
Well, it's kind of like in a circle almost. There's not a whole lot, maybe about 10 altogether.
I see.
And if I try to pop it, they'll come back in about a week.
So you are able? Do you pop it or do you scrape it off?
Kind of scrape it.
And when you scrape it off, what comes off?
Kind of like blood, not really pus or anything.
I'm not sure what this is. At first I thought maybe you were talking about molluscum contagiosum, which is a little, looks like a zit with a little hard top that peels off.
Yeah.
No, it's not really a hard top. It's a little bit bigger than a pimple.
It's very frustrating. Bigger than a pimple.
It's kind of it's not as raised as a pimple. It's more smooth, kind of like a smooth bump.
Boy, you're going to have to see a dermatologist, Christy. I have no idea what you're describing. As usual, very, very limited success in listening to people describe their skin problems.
Well, you think it might be a venereal thing?
I think it might be.
Well, make
I
sure
can get 'em in-
make sure a doctor looks at it before it goes away, then, so he can make that determination.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, she sounds so perky compared to the guy with the short penis. He must
Yeah.
be feeling a lot better right now going, hey, all I got is this.
Well, if he could go to a doctor, get a little ointment to rub on it,
That's true.
Make it 6.5 inches, he'd be in a good mood too. It breaks my heart to hear a guy who's just broken at 15, though.
His son is.
The penis does some growing between 15 and death, doesn't it, Drew?
15 and 21, a bunch. Some
A
guys,
bunch?
Some guys, the whole thing is then. The whole
Really? That's what it
from
makes.
childhood to manhood goes on then.
Mine made its move between 6 and 9, I think.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You would like some
then it
circus
stopped.
freak.
It stalled out.
And what happens?
No.
What?
Installed.
Oh,
No,
it stalled.
yeah,
Oh, it
it-
stopped?
It made its move, yeah.
That was it.
It was like a horse.
Blew an axle, and that way it's over.
Like a horse that makes its run, just out of the gate and then just falls behind the pack. Hey, Drew?
Yeah.
I had the misfortune of looking at an old man naked for some time on Friday.
Why?
Well, geez, I don't want to give away the joke, but what the...
Is a man show, Joe?
There's a man show thing. We're doing a Museum of the Annoying Guy, and basically it's a guy who talks to you at the gym too long, the old guy. And I noticed, though, because I have been to the Burbank Y a few times where old guys like to talk to you wearing nothing, the penis seems to the shaft seems to go away and the head is all that seems to be left as you get a little older.
It sucks back up.
Yeah, it starts to head back up. Now, if you live to, let's say, 140, would it start poking out of your ass eventually, or is it just sort of consumed by your abdomen?
Turns into a vagina.
It does,
Wow.
by 140.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're saying, so...
So it's worth going
Seriously,
out.
what happens to the penis when you get older? What do we have to look forward to here? You know what I mean? You get this, it's like a patch, it's like as if, it's like, here's what it looks like. It's all gray pubic hair. It's like if Santa put a hot dog in his mouth and then swallowed, just about 4 or 5 inches of it. So there's just like an inch of hot dog hanging out of Santa's mouth. That's what it looks like.
That's actually somebody doing rather well.
Oh, you
man.
God. Please.
At 80, I'm putting on a big hose clamp, and it's not moving anymore. I'm just going to lock it
You
down.
better put that hose
It's got a
clamp on at
sleeve.
65.
I'm going to put like a sleeve on and some tape.
Because you got to factor the whole panis element in the starts to fold
I
over.
mean, your gut starts draping over the
I
thing?
think so.
So it's not the
Really
penis
good. You have to-
disappearing.
Why? I know. Where's it going?
Why is it leaving? What did we do?
Yeah. I mean, why
You're
does it...
very bad boys.
Why does it start retracting that way?
Some retirement program we don't know
I
about? What
know,
exactly?
I'm sure it's a function of lowering testosterone levels. The panis sort of dropping down.
You need like an Indian guy with a flute to get it out of there. Ba, 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 ba. It's like, it's not coming out.
Actually,
I mean, how do you get it out?
you have to tease it out.
Oh, really? That's not part of your work as a doctor,
No,
is it?
comedians do that stuff.
So if you use it, but if you use it, it won't do
gosh.
that. If even at that age, if you're still going, it'll keep staying out.
Yeah, it'll retract a little bit. I mean, guys' penises
God, that's a
will
scary phrase.
change based on like their success level and how many, their leadership positions. I mean, it will change.
By the way, I'm huge right now.
It ain't going to
show,
get any bigger
doing
than
well,
this. Yeah,
huge.
this is it. Take a picture, brother.
That's it. I'm done.
there can't be Carolla changes. Not 3 Carolla change. But
Thank you. Yeah, center of the anus, just beyond the tip. But hey, Drew. But
Yeah.
so, if you had to put a timeline on when a man's penis was at its best, because when you're 17, 18, sure it works great and stuff, but it doesn't have the hang. I mean, it hasn't
No
felt
hang
the
time, right?
effects of gravity long enough.
is
And
that
then-
gravity or is that maturity and prowess and that sort of thing?
I think it's gravity. And then as you get older, it starts to retract, as we were
Yes.
talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So would you say, 40 years old is when the penis is sort of at its prime? Not from a functional standpoint, from a sort of hanging out at the gym,
Kind of a season.
aesthetic
Yeah,
standpoint.
gym appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 35 to 45 in that range.
Yeah.
For different
All right.
people.
All right. I'm 35. I got to get to the gym and walk around naked for a while. So I got to get my kicks in. All right, so this is it. Here's what you're saying.
You're prime.
So we got 10 years. We got about 10 years because I'm 35 too.
Right.
So we got 10 years. All right, thanks, Drew. I feel a lot better.
Let's get new. Christopher Titus is here from Titus Monday nights, 8:30 on the fabulous Fox, and we'll be right back after this. Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Christopher Titus is our guest tonight. From Titus, Monday nights, 8:30 on Fox.
Thanks for the plug.
No problems.
Adam, I'm pissed at you for denying us our feelings.
Oh, please, Drew.
Seriously, Ann, aren't you? Ann, pay attention.
Oh, listen,
Aren't you
don't
pissed?
enlist Ann into this.
He just denies us opportunity to feel things and mourn things.
I know, that was kind of
We
strange.
find out about stuff always late, always way down the line.
We're talking about the Fox, Bill the Fox Foster from The Man Show and many other beer-related endeavors passing away. Bill passed away, I think it was last Thursday.
Oh.
And it's sad. I believe he was 63. And he'd been sick for a little while. He was the fox who played the piano and chugged the beer and did all that for the Man Show. And we hadn't had him on this season because he's on in the episodes that are airing now because that's from last season. But this season he was sick basically the whole time, and we've been keeping in contact with him, visiting and whatnot. But he took a turn for the worse about a week ago, even though he'd been battling this cancer for probably about 5 or 6 months, probably more like 6 or 8 months, and he finally passed on Thursday. And I don't know, I didn't say anything to you because I didn't know you knew the Fox.
We actually used to go down to his place in Santa Monica in medical school.
Down to the Fox Inn?
Yeah.
You know, the weird thing about the Fox is everyone has a Fox story or seems to know the guy or know of the guy, but no one knows anyone else has a Fox story.
Right.
So every time you meet somebody, no one will bring it up, and then somebody brings up the Fox, and then someone else goes, I know that dude, and then some guy goes, he came down to Arizona when I was in college, or whatever. But he was a great guy, always had a smile on his face. He just banged away on that piano and chugged beer, and basically he just put a smile on everyone's face. He played Jimmy's 30th birthday.
Right.
More people vomited after that night, I think, and that's. I know it doesn't sound like much of a tribute, but
very nice.
I never had more fun at a party. It's the way to go. You know, you're always thinking of I don't know, bands or renting out some miniature golf course or something. Jimmy rented out a VFW hall or something. It held about 200 people. Put the Fox in one corner with his piano, got a keg of beer, and that was it. It was like game on the entire night. Oh, and had it catered by Arby's.
Nice.
Arby's going around. I think Jimmy's mom caught me smoking weed in the parking lot. It was funny because I was 33.
Oh.
You know, I was like, oh, damn, Jimmy's mom's coming. I was like, give me the joint. Eat it, dude. And I was, you know, like wave my hand around. She's like, Adam, what's going on? I smell marijuana. I'm like, oh, no, Mrs. Kimmel. No, I wasn't doing anything. She's like, okay, all right. Well, the reason I came over here is because we're all saying something about Jimmy, and I want you to start. And I'm like, great, I'm baked. There's your worst high nightmare, by the way. I'm going to stand out in front of 200 people and try to say something about it.
That'd be funny, Mr. Radio Guy. Go ahead.
And I can tell you, I know her conversation as she walked away from Adam, too. I was like, I told you that Carolla boy is such a bad influence on our Jimmy.
But she is right, yeah. All right, but anyway, Bill, the Fox Foster, passed, and we will miss him. He was definitely one of a kind. I mean, no one else did what he did. And even Drew went out to his Fox Inn.
Even I.
When you were in medical school. And that was a good time, right?
Yeah.
You got pretty lit over there, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, then you weren't participating then.
I wasn't.
You got to chug the beer. Come on.
You just watched him do it. That was the amazing thing. Just sit and sing the songs and watch him do it.
The guy just take a 16-ounce mug and put it down faster than if you just turned it over. I think he had a sucking action.
He used to do it standing on his head.
I actually thought it was like when I first watched Man Show and I saw it, I was like, there's a tube.
Yeah,
there's a tube
have you seen it
down his leg or something. There's no way someone gravity doesn't act that fast. Beer does not disappear. You can pour beer out of a glass, it doesn't go down that fast to the floor.
Yes.
It's an amazing cat.
I know, and I've seen him chug eggnog. He did a little Christmas show. He did like 15 takes with eggnog. He was about ready to kill us after that. But
and it was one of your better bits on the show, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Frankly.
He was
Man Show's
he was great.
Man Show's doomed. That was fun.
No, we got Juggy twins this year, so we're fine. Danny and Shawnee from Kentucky, and I can't tell them apart. I just take a wild stab each time, and I'm always right, and they're always amazed.
Whatever.
Tell them they smell different. That's how I can tell.
Lee, 21.
Hi.
Hi, Lee.
What's up?
I love y'all so much. Anyway, I have a question about conceiving a baby.
Mm-hmm.
If someone were to conceive, like the father was doing cocaine, would it affect the fetus?
not in any sort of developmental way. It could obviously give the child a 50% chance of inheriting the genetic potential for addiction.
But that's not from him doing the coke
That's not
at
from him,
the time.
right.
That's from father being a cokehead.
The only two drugs that I know of are likely to cause problems as far as conception goes is there's some theories about LSD maybe breaking chromosomes and things, but basically all that does is prevent conception if one of those sperm hits the egg. And I've seen some suspicion that marijuana may increase risk of orthopedic deformities if the father smoked, even within several months of conception. But again, that's not been proven. Now, cocaine, speed, all that stuff, nothing
we'd be walking around, and it'd be Planet of the Mole people. It'd be killer clowns from outer space, too, over here. For every time someone smoked weed, they give birth to a mongoloid.
Right. No, it'd be a very rare
God
thing.
knows, I'd have a horn growing out of my ass.
No, it's more like 6 fingers and that kind of thing.
And I've said before, what is wrong with 6 fingers?
Yeah, it seems like an asset to me.
Yeah.
I'm all over the 6 fingers.
Typing, playing the clarinet, you name it.
How many pull-ups could you do? Just keep going. You never get tired. You had a little test in 4th grade they made you do.
I have one more question. I take Paxil. I take 20 milligrams, and I have 40 milligram pills that I've been breaking in half, but they don't quite break in half, and I just kind of take a smaller one and a larger one. Is that bad to do?
With Paxil, that's not a great idea because Paxil is an ultra-short acting antidepressant. So really, it's not that bad. There's a slight difference, but if there's really a big difference day to day, you might have some withdrawal symptoms.
Don't they have
a small pill day?
Apparatuses to do that?
Yeah, pill cutters. Talk to your pharmacist. They should give you one.
Yeah, I saw a whole report about how much money you could save by just buying higher doses and cutting it
Some
in half.
pills, yeah, some pills.
Yeah.
Not all pills. Be careful, guys, because some pills are complex in a certain way. You can't cut them in half.
I do that with Quaaludes, though. I cut it with a little Jack Daniels is what I cut it with.
Oh,
JD?
Nice.
Still, I've never had a Quaalude. That's my dream, though. That's my goal. JD? Jack Daniels. Yeah, I don't know. I swear, maybe I was just looking at that. I don't know how my mind's working. JD, you're 18.
Okay. Hi. My boyfriend is 25, and he gets mad every time we're about to mess around when I'm not wet. And yet, when he's not hard, he gets frustrated, and I just encourage him.
Well, first of all, he's 25 and you're 18, so the guy's suspect straight away.
And he gets mad? Doesn't that help you just get wet when he gets mad?
Yeah.
That's not the move right there. 25, that's why he's going after 18-year-old, not quite getting it.
Not 25 yet, but...
I see.
24 and a half.
And does he yell at your vagina?
No,
Scold
he
it?
doesn't.
No, he doesn't. And he gets frustrated or he gets mad?
He gets upset. He's like, well, I don't turn you on, or what?
Oh, boy.
He's an idiot. I'm sorry, he's an idiot.
What branch of construction is he in?
I mean, it's either when we're hot tubbing...
JD,
What's he do?
What's he do? He's a bartender.
Oh, fantastic. And where'd you meet him? When he was getting you in?
No, we've had mutual friends for 2 years.
I see. So he got the hots for you?
He's a great guy and all. It's just...
No.
He's a great guy. He's a bartender, you're 18, and he's 25.
Yeah.
Oh, great guy.
This is not...
Upstanding citizen.
Not great guy behavior.
Future senator, I think.
And he gets upset when you don't get excited. Because he takes it personally.
Not like cursing or anything, but he's angry.
All right, but what's wrong with his penis?
I have no idea.
Well, you said it doesn't work sometimes.
Energy juice.
He what?
He takes an energy juice every day.
And does that hurt his penis?
Doesn't hurt it, but sometimes that's pretty much when it happens.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
When he drinks like a V8 or something, his penis falls apart?
No, like ultra fuel.
Oh, please.
That kind of stuff.
Does he work out a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this guy. All right, so what's your question?
I mean, how do I don't like him being frustrated at me. I mean...
Well, why aren't you excited? What's your estimation?
I am. Because he doesn't touch me. That's how else am I supposed to...
What's he do to you?
Well, he'll go down on me.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, still...
Yeah, that's
then he'll stop and...
Okay, listen. Here's the thing: you're not describing a great guy, yet you defend him constantly. The guy sounds like an a-hole to me.
A total a-hole.
He really does.
I'm gonna back that up.
And he for a few reasons. And you never stop defending him. Why don't you just admit he may be a bit of an a-hole? And the question is what's up with you that you're attracted to a-holes? Where's your dad?
He's here.
Is he a bad guy?
No, My parents are still together. They've been married 20 years.
He's not an alcoholic?
No, nothing.
He's never done anything bad to you?
Smoke, never.
Okay. Well, then find yourself a nice 19-year-old guy who's Jewish.
Oh, and I have just one quick question. Another one. Okay, this weekend my parents went to Vegas, and I stayed at my sister's house, and I had him sleep over, and their temporary roommate ratted me out and told my sister, and she told my mom.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sort of there.
Who's temporary roommate?
Her sister's.
My sister.
How old is your sister?
19.
And so what's up?
And so she told my mom, but the thing is, and that made me mad, and I told her not to. And she's selling pot out of that house.
Yeah.
The sister is?
So nice get even move right there.
The temporary roommate, and I'm thinking about telling my mom so I can have her kicked out.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the, hold on a second, let me talk to Drew. Keep her on the line for another 30 seconds. We can lock in her coordinates, and I can call an airstrike, and we'll just clean up this whole mess. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm starting to think the only answer to some of these problems between the sister and the roommate and the out-of-it parents and the whacked-out boyfriend is I'm just going to call in an airstrike.
Napalm the neighborhood, actually, because there's got to be some residual damage around, like 3 houses around at least.
Yeah, but
3 deep.
Innocent people die all the time in the name of good causes.
That's right.
And that's just the way it works. And I can't say that it's something I'm proud of, but anytime there's a war, anytime there's a threat against this country, that's what happens. Good people die.
Yep.
It is a small price to pay.
It's sad, but I got your back, Commander.
Those people are heroes. Drew?
Neighborhood napalm.
Wow, Drew's on board.
Drew's on board, too. And I got to tell you, this was a close one. I wasn't thinking of calling in a strike, but the more I think about it.
I don't know what she's talking about.
All right, well, let me just say, listen, JD, here's the deal. We don't care.
No.
Don't get pregnant. That's the only thing we care about.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and don't get even with the roommate. Just, get your ass together and go off to college somewhere.
Yeah, look a little more serious about the kind of choices you make in guys and why you make those choices. And it's maybe just part of the growing up process for her. I mean, some people make bad choices when they're 18 just because they're 18.
Right. I would have made bad choices with women had any of them taken me in.
Had you had a choice?
Had I had a choice, they would have been bad. Yeah, I mean, thank God they saved me from myself. All those women.
Was this ad or this ad?
Unattracted to, not attracted to me. All right, we're going to take a little break. Who are we going to talk to? I see a groin thing up here. Got hit in the groin.
All right.
That was swollen nuts.
All right.
That sounds good.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to Jeremy with swollen nuts. Christopher Titus, our guest tonight. We'll talk to Jeremy after this. Yep, it is the Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LVE-191. Christopher Titus is our guest tonight from Titus. Monday nights, 8:30 on Fox, and we're just having an interesting conversation off the air, though I wanted to talk to Chris about cars, but we instead got into patterns and the human condition, and
how humans change. And Chris had an experience with changing.
Yeah, well, the last call was like, it was like she was looking for problems in her life and actually looking to create them. I think we've become like a nation of victims. Everyone's bitching and whining about their lives, and because you get a lot of attention when there's stuff going wrong in life. If everything's going right, that's what you're supposed to do, so no one they go, yeah, great, good life, continue with that. But if you're screwing up, all of a sudden the relatives are calling, the mom's calling. I think we've become this. It's so good. There's so much back-patting and hugging and sympathy, and you need this and you need that. That you create a problem. A lot of people, I've seen kids create problems that don't have any just so they can get that attention.
Well, it is sort of in vogue now, at least, to come from a tough background or to be able to have your stories about hard knocks and growing up poor and having abusive parents or
so are you finally going to stop with this stuff?
No, I'll never stop complaining about my horrible parents. But it is true, and Christopher was saying that can't you just make a decision, and can't you just pull yourself out of that, or at least not make it the sort of bane of your existence? Yeah. And basically, my theory is this, and I know you've had a less than great life growing up, but you're an intelligent guy. And my theory is I'm an intelligent guy, and I had kind of a crappy childhood, but I sort of have the mental horsepower to pull myself out of the mire. If you're a little bit, if you got a 40-watt bulb as opposed to a 100-watt bulb, it's hard to get yourself out of the mire. And I know that may be oversimplifying a complicated situation, but if you're a stupid guy and you're raised in this chaos, you'll stay in this chaos. And if you're smart, it will be your life for a while, but eventually your sort of intelligence will pull you out of it. You'll be attracted to other people, and you'll do things. And that's why you hear about certain people, whether they be, politicians or professionals or whatever they were, who grew up in a sort of a squalor, and pulled themselves
English castle.
pulled themselves out of that mire and got themselves a life. But those people tend to be kind of intelligent, and you just can't count on the majority of society having that kind of intelligence, at least enough to pull themselves out of where they are.
Yeah, but it's just all perception, too. You can actually change. All the crappy things that happen to you, you can actually look at it from a different side. Now, that may be an intelligence issue, but also if you have a friend that's doing that, you can kind of point them at their show. Look at it from this way. Without my dad beating my ass and doing what he did, I wouldn't be able to deal with network executives. They bring it on. They don't scare me now. I just think a lot of people you get a lot more love when you're in pain.
Well, that's true, and I'm with you. And I don't sympathize too much for other people either.
No, I don't.
You do have an intelligence that was able to take you from that place to this place.
But if your behaviors are such that the only way you've ever known love is through these sort of negative interactions, does it make sense that there would be sort of a compulsion to continue down that path?
But like my dad. When my dad, we'd get in this horrible fight or something. He'd do something heinous. And then I'd go to bed, and there'd be like some motocross race on TV. And like to make up, he never apologized. He'd come in like 11:30. Hey, wake up. There's motocross on. Come watch motocross with me. And he would never apologize. He just, motocross. Or Evel Knievel's jumping something. Get up and come watch Evel Knievel jumping something. Don't you? Every once in a while? Because he could have died at any moment. Damn.
Yeah, I missed that. But that was at least your father's way of showing that he loved you and he was apologetic.
Well, he dumped a milkshake on my brother once. My brother fell asleep, didn't finish his McDonald's. And my dad dumped the milk. These kids sleeping in his bed. And the milkshake is on the bed. And he dumped it on Dave. I'm like, Dad.
You sure that was milkshake?
It was milkshake,
okay.
He was too young.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
It would have been a good excuse. Jeremy, you're 15.
At 16, I made a mistake.
I see. Anyone can do that.
On your own age.
Yeah, I remember when I was 16, I used to think I was 15.
Oh, I just turned 16. So.
I see. So you were hit in the groin?
Yeah, I was motocrossing actually on Saturday, and I was riding over a jump, and I came down without my feet on the pegs, and I got hit in the crotch pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. The old flying W, we call it.
And they're swollen?
Yeah, I think close to twice their size, normal size.
Why have you not seen a doctor about this?
Just haven't had a chance. I was sick on Sunday. I had a stomach ache on Saturday after that for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that might be your testes necrosing.
Oh.
Dying.
Oh, really? Right on the vine, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, they can fracture. They can blood supply gets swelled to the point the blood supply gets cut off. You got to go, man. You got to go.
They're still the normal. They're still normal shape and everything.
You got to go.
I cannot believe you're still on the phone, man. I read if you hear an empty phone hanging from the cradle right now. If Drew just said that your testes could be dying on the vine. Did you hear the man? Doctor. It's not Adam that said it. It was actually Drew.
Well, I said dying on the vine, but it was just a thought I was continuing of Drew's.
You're just dramatizing.
I tell you what you'd hear if this was me. You'd hear the phone swinging, and then you'd hear the helicopter.
Exactly, medevac. That's exactly what I'd be doing.
That's right. And then you'd hear the chainsaw cutting a hole in the roof so they could lower the basket down from the winch in the helicopter.
Exactly.
That's right.
When you say the words, that they're double the normal size and I had a really bad stomach ache for a couple hours.
That is serious stuff.
Yeah, you kind of just casually tossing that aside. House is burning. What should I do?
That is serious stuff.
Yeah.
They still have feeling and they still work.
What do you mean it still works?
They're still functioning like they should be.
How do you know that?
He masturbated.
Because they're still producing my sperm there.
Did you have a sperm count?
Sperm count. I've never had one before.
Yeah. How would you know that it's producing adequate sperm? Just because you produce semen doesn't mean you're producing sperm.
All right, Jeremy. Go to the doctor, have him look at it, all right?
Please, my brother.
Yeah.
All right, shut up. Go to the doctor.
Oh, my God.
Brett?
You should go now, frankly.
Yeah.
Brett, you're 19. What's up?
Yeah, I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I'm a recovering alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my dad, he married an alcoholic and then divorced her,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really have much of a relationship with her.
That was your mom?
Yeah, she's my mom. And I got a question. He's quite the codependent, and I'm wondering if, in conjunction with AA, if Al-Anon would give me any tools to help me deal with this.
All right, hold on a second, Brett. Because we got to take another quick break, all right?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, hang on, and we'll get to Al-Anon and AA and all that very exciting stuff. Christopher Titus is our guest tonight. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with Brett after this. Yeah, that is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number, 1-800-LVE-191. Christopher Titus is our guest tonight. He is from Titus, Monday nights. 8:30 on Fox, and Eve 6 will be in here on Wednesday. That's right. Eve Plum will be in here on Thursday, and then that's it. No. Just Eve 6. Thank you. Brett?
Yeah.
You're 19, your alcoholic father is a codependent, and blah, blah, blah.
Actually, my dad isn't an alcoholic.
Brett's the alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic.
Dad married an alcoholic and divorced her.
My mom's an alcoholic.
Yeah, and you have no relationship with your mom to speak of.
Not completely. I see her rarely.
All right, and what do you want to do with your dad? You want to go to Al-Anon to understand how to deal with your dad?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if Al-Anon will give me the tools to. He's got behaviors that are almost like people that just come into AA.
You think he's an alcoholic, maybe? Dry drunk?
Yeah, well, he's like a dry drunk, but he doesn't ever drink. I mean, he never has. He's never had a problem with it.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to go to Al-Anon, certainly. Work the program there and sort of get you sort of disengaged from him a little bit, perhaps.
What exactly is the problem again with him?
What is Dad doing here?
Well, what he does, he seems to forget that, like, a year ago I was, like, lying in the gutter, like, dying, and he doesn't seem to see the steps that I've made and the lengths that I'm willing to go to do whatever it takes to maintain my sobriety.
Okay, well, what does that have to do with you and him, though? I mean, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He's not acknowledging you?
Well, he's being a pain in the ass.
Like what? What's he say? What's he do?
Well, he'll bother me day in and day out about the tiniest little details of my life, and I just want to, like, grab him and go, you know what, it's none of your business.
But what's that have to do with your alcoholism?
Well, nothing. I mean, I just want to know if Al-Anon would give me the tools to help me overcome my, like, fear of him.
Well, your fear of him is, I don't know, it seems like this is about you. It seems like Dad's not giving you enough. Good job. Attaboys. That's what it kind of seems like. It doesn't seem like he's really doing anything wrong. It just seems like you're not getting enough acknowledgement. Is that it?
Yeah, that's about it. Well,
okay.
It's not, well, yeah.
All right, but you feel he's jeopardizing your sobriety?
Well, not really.
All right, and he's just sort of overly involved with your life?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to have a better relationship with him than I do right now.
Well, are you living with him?
Yeah.
Well, you got to get out of there. I mean, listen, you're 19. Believe me, that'll solve everything.
Or tell him. You know, I think a lot of people, the communication, most problems can be traced back to communication. If you just walk up to him and go, hey, I want a really good relationship with you, you're going to freak him out, number one. He's going to get that really dad, hey, blah, blah. He's going to do that. But, you know, just keep saying it to him.
You can tolerate it. I mean, some codes can't tolerate it.
No, but you got to get out of the house.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, and with today's technology, you never have to talk to your parents again. I mean, with not only caller ID, but I was talking to someone the other day has a certain ring for her mom. Okay, knows when mom is calling. you know what I mean? It's diabolical, but it's smart. You got a pain in the ass for a parent. You hear that certain ring, it's like, hey, hand for the phone.
So the phone recognizes the number, gives a certain ring.
Right. And
I want one of those.
It's not that you aren't going to talk to your parents. It's just they don't. You'll talk to them on your terms.
Yeah.
You'll call them when you want to call them.
Well, or the phone rings and you can steal yourself. You don't pick it up real innocent. Hey, how you doing? All the fence is down. You pick it up, you tractor beam up, you put the shields up, then you pick the phone up.
Right. My mom loves me. She called me today at the office, and it was like, I'm the world's worst son. She's like, hi, Adam, you have a minute? No. What a prick.
Did you talk to her?
Straight.
Well, that's what I said. I don't have a minute. Because my mom's minute is a couple of fortnights. You know, I said I have a few seconds. So you want to talk about, scheduling or going out to lunch or doing something like that. But the point is let's just get to it because I'm in the middle of something here. And they're all right. They can handle it.
Yeah.
But Brett has to realize that this fantasy that he needs from his dad, it may just be fantasy. It may not be about the real person that his dad is. And in fact, talking to his dad about it, his dad, some people, people who are narcissistically oriented can't tolerate that. Having a child who is separate scares the hell out of them, and they just freak out and start to get very sort of defensive, and Brett gets in a position where you're starting to have to control him and assuage him and things, and that's just who he is, and you may just be stuck with that. It may never be what you idealize it, what you feel you need. You may have to go back to your sponsor and people in the program to get what you need from other people.
And try to love him for who he is and who he isn't, man. You know, the bottom line is your parents gave you life. You kind of owe them that, you know, no matter what they do to you. And they gave you life. I believe that.
Yeah.
Adam, let it go.
Dad didn't pull out, so I guess I should kiss his ass a little more.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't be ripping into him if he's doing what he does.
I think my dad had that same thing where he was overly connected with me, Drew. Yeah, I remember very well. I was 18 and a half. Your stepmom wants you to move out of the house. Okay.
Oh, man, you had a stepmom thing?
He couldn't take it. I think his love was too strong. He felt he was clinging with too many hands. So I think he just decided, he probably had a little nip of courage and came up to me and told me his stepmom wanted me out of the house.
He was going to burst with joy for you. He had to get you out before he burst.
Angela?
Yes.
You're 19.
Yes, I am.
What's up?
My boyfriend, he's very abusive towards me, and it's not that I don't want to leave him, it's that I'm scared to leave him.
What do you think might happen?
He says that if I leave him, he's going to kill himself, or he's going to, he's making threats if I leave him.
Of what?
That he's going to kill himself, or he's going to kill me, or he's going to hurt somebody, or something.
Uh-huh. How old is he?
He's 22.
How long have you been with him?
4.5 months.
How'd you get hooked up with him?
We've known each other for years.
I see. And how does he know you're thinking about getting out?
Because it's just, there's a lot of, because I'm growing, we're growing apart because we've been friends for a long time and things are changing between us.
I see.
And I tell him, things have got to change, or else I'm going to leave. I can't take it anymore. I can't put up with it. Well, if you leave me, he says, if you leave me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
What abusive things has he done to you?
He hits me. He punches me. He's put a knife to my throat. He pulls my hair.
Is this something, were you abused like this by your dad?
Oh, no, my dad's a wonderful man. I love him to death.
Your mom?
No,
Really? Wow. How did your antenna get bent so badly that you got hooked up with this guy?
I don't know.
You 50 pounds overweight?
Nope.
You feel sorry for him?
No, he wasn't like this in the beginning.
4 months? There got to be a hint.
No, he was really sweet.
But believe me, at 4 months is the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's already killing you. He's threatening to kill you or kill himself. It's pretty rough.
All right. You guys living together?
No.
No. And is he living on his own?
Yes.
And are you on your own?
I'm in the process of moving out.
I see. Why are you moving out?
I'm tired of living at home.
I thought you loved your parents to death.
I do, but I've lived with them for 19 years.
Nobody's alcoholic.
No,
Nobody's aggressive with each other.
Nope.
Yeah. Really? And what do your parents think of this?
They don't know.
I see. And are you able to confide in them?
These perfect parents?
About certain things I can, but certain things it's better that I don't.
Hold on a second. See, this is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
My parents are perfect. Everything's great. Moving out. Why?
Gotta get the hell out because I can't talk to him. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Can't handle him anymore. 19 years is enough. It's like, all right, well, can you talk to him about this boyfriend that's threatening your life?
Certain things are better left.
Yeah, there's some problems.
Yeah. That ain't... Hey, Angela?
Uh-huh.
Seriously, what's up? I mean, I'm not saying your parents are, abusing you or anything like that, but the relationship maybe isn't the way you portrayed it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some issues with them, right?
Yes, I do.
What are they?
I don't like the way he is. He was a different person when we first started meeting.
No, Angela,
your dad.
Oh, my dad?
Yeah. Why can't you talk to them?
There's certain events that have happened that make you want to move out. What are they?
Because I'm the only child, and so they're very protective of me at some over certain things.
Did you have an eating disorder one time?
No.
And why can't you talk to them about this situation?
Because I'm scared that they're going to do something.
Maybe like protect you from this guy who wants to kill you? Those bastards.
It's not necessarily that. It's the fact that my dad is very, very protective, and he's you'd have to know my dad, but he's...
Does he have a temper?
Yes, he does.
I thought you said he wasn't aggressive.
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's not aggressive, but he does have a temper.
Well, what's the difference?
I don't know.
How have you seen his temper?
Well, like at work. and he's a musician. He's blown up a couple times here at the house, but I mean, he doesn't hit anybody or any,
Does he threaten people?
People that he works with are,
Angela, do you see that seeing an aggressive, violent person in your dad may be what triggers you to go look for that kind of person in a partner?
I don't know.
Well, we know, because that's the first question we ask is, why is this familiar? Why'd you get hooked up with this guy? It's not like your dad's as bad as this guy, but your dad is
not normal,
a little bit explosive.
Not normal for there to be this sort of violence from a father,
especially
in front of his daughter.
What kind of musician is he?
He's a drummer for a band.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yep, Buddy Rich. I knew it. You ever hear that guy chew out his bandmates?
Jimmy Krupa.
What kind of band?
They play different kinds of music, mostly like...
Oh, hold on a second. Different kinds? All right.
Mostly different kinds.
I'm ready to take a guess. I'm ready to take a stab. I think I got narrowed down now between Iron Butterfly and Jules and the Baja Marimba Band. All right, what kind of music?
They play like Santana, stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And he makes a good living?
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't do drugs or alcohol?
No.
Little booze, maybe?
Yeah, he drinks occasionally.
Oh, my God.
All right.
No, wow. That's the layers of the onion peel away.
If we had another 20 minutes, we get to the fact that he, killed a hooker in front of her. And
so he's burying the bodies in the backyard. He buried one body.
All right, so listen. It's no wonder you got hooked up with this guy. You got some issues with Pops. Right now, here's what you need to do.
Okay.
You need to break up with this guy. I would stay at home until I was done breaking up with this guy.
Okay.
I would explain to him what a maniac my father is and how he's basically got his gun loaded and is pacing by the front door. He also he's sharpened his drumsticks, and he's like a ninja with those things.
And tell the dad.
And if you hear one thing, you just tell this guy, if you hear one thing about anything, you're calling the cops immediately. And you've got to lay down the law with this guy, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, people, it's so frustrating.
But do you see that? Does she see the connection though? We're sitting here and people actually just expound exactly why they're with this guy and about a father. And do people? I kind of want to stop and go. Do you see the connection, the parallels? I didn't hear.
It's so obvious. No.
But she didn't know. You can be right in the middle of it and not see it. She needs that insight to see. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is my father. Except he touches me.
But this is the point of the show, is to help people sort of step back and look at that, and they make better choices, right. Which is what. I mean, they're sort of automatically set into this pattern of behavior that if they don't see it, can't step back and be objective and then make choice.
All right, let's talk to Brad. Brad is 17.
Yeah, hello.
What's up?
I got a pregnant ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's going through those hormonal problems.
Yeah.
And she gave me the boot about 3 or 4 times. And
she's what?
I think he said the boob, but I think he meant the boot.
The boot. She gave me the kick,
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's like back and forth, off and on, and I just, I don't know what to do.
How old is she?
She's 18.
Uh-huh. How far along is she?
She's about, 4 months now, going on 5. She's pregnant with twins.
Oof. Women can, particularly with multiple parents, women can feel very vulnerable, helpless, and...
unpredictable.
Well, no, in need, and boy, it can make.
But I mean, this is your ultimate nightmare. You got a 17-year-old is named Brad, is daddy to your twins, and who has no tools to deal with this whatsoever. Who's actually pissed off at you because you're going through your hormonal swing. I mean, this is why 17-year-olds make bad parents, right? Are you planning on staying with this girl, Brad?
Well, I don't know. She told me herself she doesn't love me at all. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was just a thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Does she want to give the kids up for adoption?
No, she's having them. No one's taking them away from her.
Why?
It's for good,
Why?
They're hers.
Yeah.
See, Brad, it sounds like you're in the test area right now. She's kicking you and giving you the, quote, boot. It's a test thing. You got to hang around. You got to love her. She's going through a lot of changes right now, man. You got to hang.
See, I'm like the whole thing here.
Sounds like it.
I try and hang in there, and it's like you get nothing. It's nothing. It's like give up. I don't want you. And so mainly I'm like the piggy bank now. She's wondering if I have the money, if I'm going to get the money, if I'm going to support the kids and everything. So
well, what are you doing for money at 17?
Well, I just moved to Sacramento, so I was looking for a job. I got an interview Wednesday. I'm going to be doing a night shift, making $14 an hour. So,
Twins.
Oh, man.
yeah, I'm still in school, too. Got another year.
All right. Hey, Brad, you got to pull out but next time, buddy.
Yeah.
You just, I mean, it's amazing. It's
Morning
amazing
after pill.
you know the thing that's interesting about life, how, and I know this sounds just horribly cliche, but we've all had unprotected sex. We've all driven without our seatbelts on. You know, we've all been in situations that, you know, could potentially have changed our life in a heartbeat and didn't. Thankfully, most of us.
Right.
Yeah.
But could have easily happened to any of us when we were 17 and with some chick and stupid and with a few beers in us or whatever.
AC/DC blaring in the background.
Could have been dead, could have bought it in a car accident 1,000 times at 16, 17, racing some guy in the back seat of a two-seater sitting in the well going down Mulholland Drive.
Falling into a bonfire.
Fell into a bonfire when I was 17 years old. Hell yes, at the beach party.
Yeah, I mean, just what? I heard that tonight on the show.
Oh, yeah.
The point is thank God it doesn't happen to most of us. But, I mean, this guy is banging around with some chick he's half interested in, probably has a few beers under his belt, doesn't put the condom on. Pow, he has twins now. He won't be 18 before these twins are going to come out. He's going to be 17 3/4. And talk about a profound life change. I mean, think about where you're at 17. I still thought I was going to be an astronaut when I was 17, and possibly, I just let go of the pirate dream. I thought I was going to be a pirate for a while. And then somebody pulled me aside and told me it wasn't an actual gig. I thought it was a gig, you know. I didn't know what they made now. I don't know if there's a union, but I can't imagine having twins. And then imagine this guy, when he gets to be our age, he's going to have a couple of 19-year-olds or 17-year-olds or whatever.
17-year-old with twins. But then, you know, he's going to have some insight to that little situation.
Now you're getting the show, Chris. All right. Well, what are you going to do? Get that $14 an hour gig, and you just, hey, when you're pregnant with twins, mama's queen. Whatever she says.
That's right.
And if she wants ice cream, you get her ice cream. Oh, here's what I'd like to hear. I can talk to you, Christopher. I want more. There's certain things I think are missing from television.
Ooh, pickles and ice cream.
Pickles and ice cream jokes.
Yes.
I was talking the other night about quicksand, not seeing any of that.
No, not in a while.
Talking about the...
I said Land of the Lost and the Sigmund, what was the Sigmund things? And the Sid and Marty Krofft.
And the sea monster.
Yeah, that was it. Every episode had the quicksand up thing.
How high were Sid and Marty Krofft when they were putting together all that Lidsville and the Hoodoo Guru and
HR Puff and stuff.
HR Puff and stuff.
Those guys must have been just flying on mushrooms, sort of a combination between mushrooms, weed, probably a little hash, some speed, and some acid to come up with that garbage. Because it is bizarre. When you look at it now as an adult, it just looks like a Jimi Hendrix record cover. I mean, it's just a mess.
How about the guys that bought it, distributed it?
They must have just been doing. It's like they must move a pile of coke to one side of the table so they could look at the Bible on the thing. All right. Are we going to take a break? No?
Sure. Yeah.
Take one more? Yeah.
We can leave the guy hanging. We're done. We're done with the 17-year-old with the twins.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Nice.
Well, listen, you got to do whatever you got to do for her. She's pregnant with twins. That's
you got to take responsibility, man. Do what you got to do.
All right. We'll talk to James when we come back. He's 15. Girlfriend bit him during oral sex. Now he has bruises. Will it be okay? We'll tell him after this.
Yo, Loveline will be right back, homie.
Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. And Christopher Titus is our guest tonight. He is from Titus. Monday nights, 8:30 on Fox. Story about, it's a sitcom mainly about, well, not mainly, solely about your life.
My screwed up life.
How much of that is true?
Mom in and out of mental institutions since I was a little kid. You know, I'd actually go, visit her. Which is pretty fun. But she had crayons, I had crayons. It was a lot of fun.
Do you but do you feel like that's where you got your sense of humor?
I think Dad, when Dad's going through getting married, like every, 3-4 months or 3 years, he's getting married or a new woman's moving in. He was just always really just keep it funny. around a little kid. He's a single father. He went to court for it. He kidnapped me from Detroit. The man flew out. My dad was sending child support to my mom, and my mom was actually going, the checks were coming back cashed by the Green Guinea, tavern. What the hell is this? So what happened was my dad goes, where's my kid? And Mom says, you're never going to see that kid again. Well, she had sent me to live with my great-grandparents, and basically had told them, Ken's not sending any child support. But Dad would never miss a child support payment. So he found out that I was in Detroit and got on a plane instantly, went to go get me, and he's on this plane he's telling this guy, yeah, Mom, I'm going to go kidnap my kid, man. She's a bitch, blah, blah, blah. And the guy goes, well, that's an interesting story. He goes, I'm the Detroit Metro District Attorney. And my dad just, soiled himself right there in the airplane seat. And then the guy was going through a bitter divorce, and he goes, here's how you take the kid.
Oh, my God.
And he basically laid it out for my dad how to extradite me from Detroit, and they couldn't bring me back. And so he did it, man. He did it.
And as effed up as your dad may have been, that's a love right there.
Right there, man.
I mean, you may have dumped a milkshake on your brother and
shot us with BB guns.
Shot you with a BB gun, and maybe he just brought you back so he could torture you. But I mean, that is the kind of thing. I don't know, Drew. Would your dad have done that? You know what a ticket to Detroit costs?
Exactly, especially in those days.
Drew's dad is so cheap. Yeah, but if Drew told the story, it'd be like, my dad took a bus to Detroit.
It took forever. He went on the Cannonball Run with Brock Yates.
He hitchhiked. Jesus Christ, I saw that Cannonball whatever part, number 5, the other night, and just watching a drunken Dean Martin kind of stumble his way through... It's like when you get older and you start realizing the story behind some of these guys and where they were at that particular point in their life, and you figure Dean Martin, Cannonball 5, he's 63 years old, he's been drinking hard, and he's on divorce number whatever, and then you just watch him, look at his eyes while he's doing his line. He's wearing a father's, he's wearing a priest's frock.
Oh, this is the one with Sammy Davis Jr.?
Right, and I'm watching him, and I'm watching Sammy, and I'm watching them doing their things, and I'm thinking to myself, what's going through their head right now? Because it ain't this script.
No, we're getting a lot of money.
We're getting a bunch of money. We're both loaded. We didn't have to memorize our lines. We're just kind of making it up.
Or I hate Burt Reynolds for getting me into this crap.
That's so ridiculous. We need some sort of, pardon the pun, vehicle for big celebrities who are well past their prime, which I don't think we have today. A series of movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we could take who would be the equivalent of Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and Burt Reynolds and guys of that ilk 15 years ago. For today, though. Who are today's, Sammys? Who are these guys from today?
So we get Hasselhoff, we get...
even Hasselhoff's like a little too young.
John Ritter?
He's not drinking enough. Ritter's not boozing enough either. And we're not big enough stars.
Charlie Sheen.
There were sitcoms.
Instantly, Charlie Sheen's in
Yeah, but
years.
sitcom... See, Sheen needs another 10 bad years, and then he can resurrect his career with these things.
We did a photo shoot with Charlie Sheen on his... he has a hangar full of cars. We did for the magazine I write for. Yeah,
you write for a Hot Rod?
Yeah, no, Good Guys Rod and Custom. They do some events and stuff, and I run a humor column for him. And we did a thing, and man, this was like 2 weeks before his dad turned him in.
Right.
And Charlie, if you have to listen, he looked like a vampire. He showed up to all these Hot Rod guys were all wearing Hot Rod T-shirts, and he showed up in blue satin pajamas and a fedora. And I felt bad for the cat because you could just tell he was really thin and it was cool. He was the nicest guy and funny. I go, we're going to do the cover of the magazine. We like to kind of make fun of all your tabloid, exploits. And he looks at me and he goes, what tabloid exploits? And all of a sudden, just the icy fear in my stomach that his big bodyguard's going to kill me now for bringing it up. And then he burst out laughing. So he really had a great sense of humor. Good guy through all the drugs and whatever. He's really like a decent cat.
They have a lot of nice cars.
Oh, man, some stuff he didn't even know. He's got
That's what I want.
You know what I mean? He's got stuff that he did. Like there's this 67 Shelby Mustang that's actually one of the first 150 built that Carroll Shelby signed in the trunk.
427.
And I had to talk him through it. Look at this car.
Even the big block.
With the Mustang, it was when they had the small
Mustang. Mustang. I was thinking of Cobra when you said Shelby. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. I know.
Sorry,
I'm back on the same page. Chris?
Yes.
You're 23. What's up?
Oh, I just want to start out by praising you guys. I just want to say all three of you are incredibly intelligent and funny.
Thanks.
You're doing a great service here. Thank you very much.
Well, what's up? Thank you.
Sure. Basically, my problem is I have an incredibly bad temper, and occasionally it leads to associating violent tendencies, like I want to commit, things to myself, or I want to hurt other people, basically.
Yeah. Who were we going to talk to here, Drew? Weren't we going to talk to somebody else?
Mm-mm.
That was it? Really? Nah, I'm high. All right, so
Adam's just trying to set you off to see if we could get it on the air.
Right.
So you, what have you done? What's the worst you've done to yourself and someone else?
Well, I've never actually, thank God I haven't hurt anybody else, as of yet. I have more than a few scars on myself.
Yeah.
That I've cut,
All right. Have you ever talked to a psychiatrist?
No, I've contemplated it, but I've never had the financial resources in order to do so.
Yeah, but these days you can talk to people. Don't they have like anger management and violent classes and all that kind of stuff, don't they?
That's one way to go, but it sounds like he manages his anger for the most part, right?
Well, he manages it by cutting on himself or taking it out on himself, right?
I feel like I've been better in control of it. Yeah, I've done that before in order, to keep myself from getting too incredibly angry. Lately, I've been basically writing in a journal when I feel these feelings coming on, and I disassociate myself with any other people around too.
Yeah, were you abused?
Yeah, a lot of emotional abuse. I witnessed and experienced a lot of physical abuse as a child.
Well, there it is, and there's theories that certain parts of the brain actually get burned out in the course of those traumas. They just don't exist anymore. The kinds of the parts of the brain that usually would contain aggression is sort of like the button's been pushed too many times and just no longer there, and so aggression just now breaks through.
Well, let's give the guy something to look forward to, Drew.
Well, but if it's that kind of thing, other than behavioral management, which you're trying, and psychotherapy, which you don't think you can afford.
Well, the behavioral management is just something him writing in his journal.
That's a way.
Well, I know, but he's not seeking any professional help.
Medication is what I was getting to. Is the other thing that helped.
Let's see. I want to say I'm not a big believer in medication as it is. I believe, in more of the power of the mind to, All
right, well, good. Then knock it off.
Right, yeah, put the stuff behind you, that all the abuse part, and put it behind you. My niece Amy moved in with us. She's 16, she moved in with us, and she was, after, she came goth kid, man. She was like, she was just death kid, and she moved in with us, and we started talking to her. It's amazing how much just a little bit of support will help, a kid. And she just blossomed, and we found out about 6 months in she'd been molested by one of her dad's friends, and we talked about it, and basically she decided to make a choice and put it behind her. And now when it comes up, because you really can't, the stuff of your life, you keep putting your past in front of you all the time. Now she recognizes it and notices that's why she's reacting to whatever she's reacting to, and she stops.
Is she not goth anymore?
She's not goth anymore, man.
Good.
She's a full-out skate kid. We got a half pipe in the backyard that I built. And
did you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 16 by 32, baby.
Wow. It's a good size half pipe.
That's right.
And what do you build that out of? 1/2-inch ply?
Well, it depends.
You got to bend it, right?
Yeah, you got to bend it. Yeah, 1/2 inch, 3 layers of 1/2 inch.
Oh, you just go one layer at a time, and that's how you get the radius in there?
Right. Well, you have to cut the radius. What are we talking about? Okay. Let's move on.
Well, you gotta cut the radius when you're framing the thing, but I'm actually talking about putting the ply down for the surface.
Yeah, you just go 1/2 inch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm actually scared of myself at this point.
Drew, you know what helps with radius?
Oh God!
Radius?
No thanks.
You got 1/2 inch stock.
Oh, I'm the guest.
Take your blade on your circular saw and score the back. You know what I mean? Not full depth. Oh, Anderson, I'll throw this goddamn mic through that effing window.
What did you do?
That again?
What?
Shut my mic off.
You lose a lot of strength, madam, when you score it.
I know, but you got to bend it, and you're going triple. So what do you care, Peter?
Yes, sir.
You're 24.
Yes.
What is up?
All right, I was having sex with my girlfriend last night.
Probably using the CDX good one side. All right, yeah.
All right, and all right, we were just having sex. We have a lot of sex, pretty much every day. And I just got this, probably 20 minutes into it or whatever, 15 minutes. I got this sharp pain in my groin and right above my penis in my stomach. And it felt like, I never had a hernia before, but it felt like I've heard about them, and it felt pretty as intense as that, and that's what I thought happened. But my testicles didn't swell up, and I just have a little bit of pain in my stomach right there.
Where did you get the idea that hernias hurt?
That hernias hurt? I know a lot of people that have had them.
And they hurt?
So you don't feel hernias, basically, what you're saying when you have them?
Not unless they incarcerate.
Really? Yeah, I have a hernia, and I can feel it sometimes.
But when it gets stuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's incarcerated a little
bit. So what could that have been, Dr. Drew?
I don't know. frankly. It could be...
Oh, you're going to worry me now and tell me it's something real serious, right?
Well, no, I don't think it sounds like something serious, but sometimes it's a muscular spasm in that area, sometimes
Like
inflammation.
maybe I pulled a muscle or something?
No,
20 minutes.
Yeah. And you had pain into the testing and then up into the abdomen?
Excuse me?
You had pain down into the testing and then up into the abdomen?
Well, I just thought, like, my first reaction is when I felt anything was that, like, it was my testicle.
Yeah, I wonder if
you might... sex, if you get a little crazy, like, they can pull, you have an orgasm, they can pull up into your stomach.
Right.
Correct? All right. So that's what I've always been worried about what might happen. So when this was happening, I kind of checked that first, and they were, both there.
It might have been a little torsion. Sometimes they twist on themselves, and the blood supply gets cut off a little bit.
And plus, if you get it cranked up, those things are like fuzzy dice in a convertible, hanging from the rear view when you're going like 80 down at PCH, and they're all over the place. I mean, if you really get it cranked up, they can go all over the place.
That sometimes the lymphatics congest in there, don't drain out properly.
Yeah, and here's, we haven't talked about this in a while, but...
stones in the bladder, stones in the prostate.
No, here's what I'm thinking. When you're having sex, you do things that you normally would have stopped a long time ago because it would have been too painful. Like even women who sometimes have a lower threshold for pain. I remember, it dawned on me 10 years ago, I was talking to a girl named... her name was Vanessa. I won't say her last name, but I swear to God, both her knees were down to the kneecap, basically. Looked like she'd fallen off a skateboard that had been dragged behind a car, And she's usually a pussy, And I said, Jesus, Vanessa, what happened to your knees? She's like, great sex. I was thinking, what? Yeah, I was down in doggy position. I was down on the carpet, just rubbed both the skin off my knees. And I thought, if you had been doing anything else other than getting nailed, you would have stopped, keeled over, and screamed in agony a long time before it got down to the actual cap part. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean, if you were exercising, if you were cleaning, if you were down on your knees doing something else, and the skin started coming off, it immediately would have stopped. But when you're getting it on, it's like there's some adrenaline surge, and there's some sort of Novocaine that's released into your system, and you don't feel things you normally would have felt, and therefore you don't stop. And then the injuries come in. That's why I limit myself to a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops. I gotta take care of myself. But I think this may have happened to this guy. Maybe this guy was banging away vigorously and just sort of pulled something.
Yeah.
All right. Shane?
Sleeping?
He's only been on hold for 9 minutes. He can't be asleep.
Well, he's sleeping. Nice tirade at him.
Thank you.
Oh,
Caller
nice.
who goes by the name of Shane?
Oh, hey.
There you
Hey.
are. There you go.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. What's up?
Just probably a week ago, I was having sex with my girlfriend, and she was actually mid-menstruation, and she was bleeding while we were having sex, and I got it, afterwards I looked, it was probably up to my chest and down to, like, my knee area.
Hold on. Let me close my eyes. Okay. Good. You added 20 minutes to the session tonight. Thank you. Okay, so you're covered with blood.
Anyway, in the morning and stuff, I just fell asleep afterwards.
Oh.
And I've got a rash. And I was it's just a rash, but should I see a doctor?
So you fell asleep with, that sort of, it was like some animal was ritualistically slaughtered on your belly, and you just fell asleep?
Yeah, what sect of the Bahufu tribe are you in, man?
And why didn't you wash yourself off?
I probably should have, but I was
This is back to that same theory that you
you just said
earlier.
Yeah, you're going. You don't care.
And he's afterwards
But you can't tell me you've never masturbated and then just fell asleep in it.
No, I haven't done that. I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
Well, I don't. I have trouble sleeping, and I don't want to wake up with the, comforter spot welded to me. I don't want to have to go into the shower with the comforter to get it off.
What if there's a fire and you got to jump out of bed? You can rip part of your skin off.
That's right.
You're
It's
done.
like when you put your tongue on a frozen pole.
Exactly.
Well, you make a good point, but anyway, Dr. Drew.
Right. But anyway, shut the F up.
It's probably just some sort of irritation. There's nothing infectious that you're typically going to get that way that would cause
I
rash.
shouldn't get a certain type of cream or something.
I would just give it a few days and see if it doesn't just clear up on its own.
Well, what would blood give you on a sort of topical level?
Just some sort of irritation more than anything specific.
Hepatitis isn't considered a venereal disease, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is. I had that conversation with somebody, and I said it wasn't. I didn't know. Now, what is a venereal? What is technically How do you classify something as a venereal disease then?
If it's transmitted by sexual intercourse, sexual contact.
Right. So there are certain diseases that you don't necessarily think of as sexual diseases that are technically venereal diseases because you can
transmit them sexually.
But then wouldn't a cold or flu be a venereal disease? I mean, because if you kiss somebody...
People talk about pregnancy being a sexually transmitted disease.
Okay, but I don't know what point you're making, but it's a lame one.
The point
what I'm saying is a cold a venereal disease?
It actually...
Aha! Thank you.
It would be...
Thank you very much.
It would be what we call the classical sexually transmitted disease because it's transmitted so many other ways.
Right. But what about hepatitis? Is that a classical one?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
But it's a serious
tuberculosis could be translated that way. That's not a venereal disease. Oh, you go back and read a book. You don't know anything, Sally.
No, it's not because of sexual
I'm right as usual.
Which is what?
Which is you can get many different diseases that aren't technically venereal diseases
by
through
intimate contact, but not primarily through sexual contact.
But so Adam, any communicable disease when you're with somebody can be passed would be a venereal disease.
Well, it would be sexually transmissible.
There you go.
But not its primary mode of transmission is not sexual contact. Well, hepatitis B and C, a primary mode is sexual contact.
So you are right, Adam.
Sort of, Sally. I don't feel very
it's like
right.
HIV. HIV is other ways than sexual contact.
Right.
But it's primarily sexual contact.
I didn't even know if that was a venereal disease.
Well, venereal is not a term that's really used anymore. It's sexually transmissible.
Thank you. Sally?
Yes.
You're 30. What's up?
Well, I have a question. I have a boyfriend that would like for me to perform anal sex with him, strap on a dildo.
Nice.
And he's a straight guy.
Right.
And I wanted, is this common for men to want to have their prostate to be pleasured at 40 years old?
Yeah, your prostate should be sore at 40. Hold on a second there, Sally. We're going to take a break. Hold on, show of hands. Who's had their prostate stimulated via a strap-on dildo in this room? Everyone's hand went up.
If you're going to get specific.
Hold on there, Sally. We'll get to
me in
this.
the ass and then bang me in the ass.
Oh, please. It's just everything I say comes back to haunt me. All right, we'll take a little break. Christopher Titus, our guest tonight. When we come back, we'll get to the strap-on situation after this. Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. Zach Drew over there. Christopher Titus is our guest tonight from Titus.
Crank it up the funny.
Monday
There's 15 minutes left. Now I'm going to home stretch, baby.
Jesus, you scared me. Drew and I start entering REM usually about this point of the show. We start winding it down. That's why Drew is asleep. Now, Drew, and don't lie, are you asleep by 12:35 at night?
38.
12:38.
Yeah.
And you live a good
22 minutes.
22 minutes from here. And the point is you're in your car after midnight, so you're not home before 12:25.
12:25.
And then you're asleep at 12:38.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want to say to you, and I know you got to get up early in the morning, and this is all your schedule and all that kind of stuff, but don't you need that time, that you time? I mean, the most precious part of the day for me is when I come home from this thing after a hectic day, and I sit down and I just slip my hand down my pants, and I turn on the TV, and Chips is on, and I pour myself a beer, and I just sit there for like an hour doing nothing.
I would be unconscious.
That's a bad picture. Larry Wilcox on the TV and you with your hand in your pants. That's just a weird picture. You scared me.
I don't start moving the hand until Grossman comes on.
Or who was the guy that worked on the bikes? The weird, really tweaky guy.
Yeah, it's always, the 70s had it down for TV shows because whether it was, Magnum P.I., had Binzer, who was not Magnum P.I. Vegas had Binzer, which was Dan Tana's sidekick, and on Chips they had Grossman, who was kind of the slob Jew guy, who was on there, and it was like, here was the strategy. It was, here's what we need to make our two stars look better is a really out of shape Jew in ill-fitting clothing to stand next to them,
slightly balding and sweating a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ponch looks so hot now.
If you look at that, if you watch Chips, you'll see that Ponch's shirt was like tailored. It was like sucked in the back. It was starched. It was pressed. It was pulled. I mean, it is like body contouring. And then Grossman comes pulling in, and he's like wearing a beige poncho, and his guts hanging out all over the place.
But then maybe he had a serious episode. He had like a special episode of Chips where he actually had like a family or something, and then they had to get that other guy that worked on the bike, so that they like Poncho like a wipe a booger on him every episode. It was like horrible. That one little
the guy's like 4'9" and has a curly hair.
Hey, Ponch, come knock it off, you guys. He said that a lot. Knock it off, you guys.
He never wanted a monkeying with the bikes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Sally?
Yeah.
You're 30 and your boyfriend wants you to put the strap on, huh?
Yes.
He wants you to don the dong, as my dad used to say. You've never done this with him?
No, I haven't.
Has he asked you to do things with your hands before this?
Yeah. Yes.
And have you done that?
With my hands, yeah, but I won't do the.
You
my
won't
mouth.
do the strap on?
Yeah.
Mouth. What about your mouth?
Where's the mouth come in here?
Well, don't some people use their lips to stimulate it a little bit?
You understand it's not a clown nose. I mean, you strap it onto your groin, right? You're talking about a rim job.
Yes, I was talking about his yes.
Oh, he's preoccupied.
Man. Hold on. Sally,
Yeah.
he wants you to get down there with your tongue, right?
Yeah,
Right. And,
but I can't. That's just too much.
right, and he wants the strap on, too.
Sure, yes.
Right, and you don't want to do that either, right?
Well, I don't have a problem doing it, honestly, but I just have a concern on where he's coming at, and why is it that he would need this additional part to fulfill himself? I just think that it's different.
Yeah, and I know. He's giving you the creeps. As best he should.
Yeah.
And here's a safety tip. Before you come at him from the rear end, flip his skirt up so it doesn't get caught up in his rectum, okay?
Can't even imagine where you have this conversation.
Oh, right?
Trying to make
Loveline. You mean with
how do you bring this up?
I don't know, but Sally, things don't exist in a vacuum. They really don't. Like it's easy to sit around and go, hey, this guy works, he pays his taxes, he's a loving father, whatever, boyfriend, husband. He just happens to like this, but I don't trust that at all.
He has some stuck points. Is he kind of a really obsessive guy, a really messy guy?
No.
Really super clean?
Really clean, very organized.
Super clean, yeah.
Funny they call that anal.
Yeah.
And he's been single for a long time. He's 40 years old. you know?
Well, this conversation, maybe he was getting it out a little too early at times.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait.
How long you been going out with him?
It's only been a few months.
I see. Yeah.
And it's very new, and it's something that I think is a very intimate thing. If that's something I'm willing to do, at such an early stage, and it's bizarre.
Oh well.
And my therapist is not specializing in sexual behavior.
Do you get into this with your therapist?
I asked her about it. Yeah.
Yeah. You should then tip her. I know that may be something you don't normally do, but like when a guy really does a great job detailing a car or something, slipping a 20, could you just, when you bring up the strap on with the therapist, that has to be the worst goddamn 50 minutes of her life. Just drop her 20.
We've gone into double time, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You're in golden or brown time. I don't know what color it is, but Sally?
So I thought I'd ask the doctor, since he specializes in behavioral, sexual behavior.
Is he giving you the creeps, Drew? Does this guy kind of give you the creeps?
Not necessarily. It's not, as you said, it's not something that exists in a vacuum, but it's part of his personality, maybe a stuck point in his development, and it may not mean anything sort of in the global sense, but it means something.
But here's the point. You wouldn't want this guy watching your kids, would you? No.
Not if I could help it.
No. And I think her spidey sense should be tingling on this one.
Yeah, if your instinct creeps you out, it creeps me out here in a little bit, and whatever. Hey, whatever. Good luck to you. But I gotta say,
enjoy.
Human
say
body.
choose something different.
Yeah, years of growing and being cavemen and in the primal thing, and when that little thing clicks and goes creeping me out, I kind of listen to it.
Yeah, I think we all should.
Yeah.
And talk to your therapist and just talk to him. Hey, why don't you say, hey, I like you, but I gotta admit, this is kind of creeped me out, and why don't you tell me and explain to me why I shouldn't be creeped out? There you go.
Give me a valid reason for using the strap on, and I'll help you out. I'm there. I'm all about backing you up.
We'll be back. All right. Well, that is it. Another fine episode of Loveline in the Ground. I want to thank Christopher Titus for coming in and tell everybody who's listening, and those of you who aren't, you can tell people who didn't hear the show tonight, they should definitely watch Titus Monday nights at 8:30. It is Loveline approved. And Christopher, it was nice meeting you.
Thanks. Next Monday's a fellatio incident. You will watch next Monday.
All right. 8:30, everyone, on Fabulous Fox. And again, thanks for coming in.
What a blast. Thanks, guys.
So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo. The gerbil I put in my ass is acting strangely.
Well, now. This has been Loveline. The stuff expressed on Loveline is not necessarily the stuff of the staff, management, sponsors, or anyone else, including Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingold. Now, please enjoy these birds.